Well, because he's trying to communicate his problem. It's one of the big problems, for example, at my work, because people don't deal with finances on a day-to-day basis, and so all they know is that they can't place this trade, and they have this error, and they're not sure why, and they're trying to articulate their situation, and so the frontline phone reps are sitting there trying to decipher it, and then finally when they figure it out, and then finding out, oh crap, they need a specialist, you unfortunately get in a situation where it's like, oh, if only there was some way to decipher what it is the client wanted before they called in. Some way to...
Yeah. Always the hardest part.
Mic check.
Mike's not here, man.
Everyone sounds good.
Yep,
Excellent.
And now it means I could turn off the crazy sounds.
Only like the sane ones?
Well, it's just that echo of, hearing yourself on delay and everyone else you're talking to.
It's just that echo of, like, hearing yourself on delay and everyone else you're talking to.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
It's just that echo.
Just curious, does anyone here play Baldur's Gate 3? I know Splice has it, but I don't know if he ever continued playing it.
I did get distracted at a certain point.
Well, the final patch was released this week.
I saw
which included 12 new subclasses and such.
Yeah, I didn't get to a point where subclasses mattered.
Yeah. I have 4.2 hours in.
I tried to play Baldur's Gate 2 off of an old disc copy, and it was playing at like 100 times speed, so it didn't work too well. Luckily, getting like a Steam version or a GOG version, which I have both now, it should work, but I haven't actually played through it yet. But so they've said it's the final update?
Yeah, I mean, like, and, 8 major patches, a bunch of hot fixes. We're now like 2 years after the fact almost with it.
Yeah.
They've done just phenomenally by supporting the community. The last patching, again, including 12 subclasses, that's
a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah. Man. Like it's another way to play each and every class that you've got, including my favorite class, Hexblade.
All right. Well, it's now startup time, so we'll have to get going. But
less D&D, more Batman.
Just as an aside, I finally updated future plans. Dylan, you weren't here for that. Future plans is where I post what the future episodes are. And so if you're interested in the topic, not necessarily if you can show up, but if you're interested in the topic, please react to said topics so that I know that there's actually interest in it. And if like no one's responding, it's like, okay, well, maybe I should change it up.
Cool.
All right. Let us get started. So back in the day, a little game called Arkham Asylum was released, and Arkham Asylum was by far the best adaptation of a superhero game that we had ever seen. Arkham Asylum was great, and I just thought, like, man, it's going to be impossible to top. Then they released a teaser trailer for Arkham City. This would be in December of 2009. And everyone was just very excited because they couldn't believe it. Like, okay, we're actually getting a sequel to Arkham Asylum. But no one knew where they were going with it. It was an interesting idea. All that we knew was from this teaser trailer was that Joker ain't looking too hot, which after the events of the first game made a lot of sense. But then they started releasing other trailers come in 2010. About a year later, we got the Hugo Strange trailer. But the big one was the No Place for a Hero trailer, which I contend to this day is still the best and most effective video game trailer ever released. But the hype was insane. And we are talking about the game that came from this, Arkham City, which I will also contend, at least for me, I don't know for others, but for me, no game has ever come at higher hype and crushed it more than this game has. Welcome to episode 55 of I Think We Overleveled, Arkham City. I'm going to go down the line here. Lunasar, were you at all hyped for Arkham City? Was that something you were looking forward to at the time?
When it came out, I still hadn't played through Arkham Asylum yet.
Okay.
So I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think if I played Arkham. I think Arkham City had already been out a year before I finally got around to playing Arkham Asylum.
Got it. So you were interested, but you weren't part of the hype.
Yeah, before Arkham Asylum came out, I did play like a demo that was at a GameStop, and it seemed, well, I don't know, it was just the combat, and it was just without the actual being the more stealth parts, it wasn't quite as interesting. So I wasn't super interested in it initially because, my least favorite part of the game is just kind of the fisticuffs part. But once I finished Arkham Asylum, I was certainly excited to play Arkham City.
Okay. I know the answer to this, Baggins. You had to live with me during this hype time.
I was going to say, I lived with you. I didn't have a choice.
No, I wouldn't shut up. I was so excited for this.
No, I remember. When we get to the actual playing of it, I will tell the story about your.
Yeah, we'll get there. Kamizite, I have no clue what your background in this was.
Well, for starters, Batman is one of my favorite superheroes. So I was all in when Arkham Asylum came out. All they had to say was sequel to Arkham Asylum. They didn't even have to name it. And then I was like, all right, cool, I'm down. And so I worked at a Starbucks at the time, and there was a GameStop 2 doors down from where I was. So guess what I did on my lunch on release day?
Nice.
Picked up my copy. And yeah, I was all in. Again, Batman has been, I'm a Marvel comic guy, but if you put a gun to my head and say who my favorite superhero is, it'd be Batman, and that's entirely Michael Keaton's fault. He was the best Batman, and there's just no argument, and we will not be taking any questions at this time.
No, there is an argument. There is an absolute argument.
Michael Keaton's the reason why for you, huh? Because I feel like for me,
I will say he was the best live action Batman.
To me, it's Paul Dini and working with.
All right.
Yeah, Paul Dini's writing with. Oh my goodness, Baggin, you're gonna hate me because I'm pulling a blank. Kevin Conroy. Kevin Conroy. There we go.
Yeah, I was like, it's not me you got to be worried about.
Look.
Rest in peace.
I love Kevin Conroy too, and he is a very close second. But I grew up with Michael Keaton. He was my first Batman.
So yeah, no,
that's why no questions. I will not be debating this. It's 100%, choice here, opinion. I'm not. If you sit here and you tell me, if you say George Clooney, then you might. Then I might have to go take a trip with Mr. Crowbar. But
see, I was going to say.
Oh, I wouldn't argue. I'm just surprised that.
I don't know that.
Well, this is we're getting out of scope here for a moment.
I don't know that. I don't know that my first Batman is a fair argument on that because my first Batman was Val Kilmer.
Okay, fair enough.
R.I.P.
Also R.I.P.
to a real one.
Yeah.
All right. So the person
the first that I paid attention to.
The person I'm most interested in the answer to. We've had him on an episode before. Diesel Martini. You've been playing through the Arkham series recently, correct?
Yeah. So you were talking about when it first came out. I did not even know these games existed. This was a time in my life when I was newly married or had really young kids and just did not have a lot of free time. So I didn't even know about them until, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago when Origins went on sale on Steam. And I was like, That's only like $2. I'll pick that up.
That's right. I think you were like, because Diesel Martini and I are former roommates as well. I think you were dating your wife when I played through Arkham Asylum, which makes sense because I had lost my best friend, and so I needed to medicate with Batman.
Yeah, so I only recently played. I actually still haven't finished the series. I still have to play Night, but I played the first three, and really enjoyed them. And yeah, I'm excited to talk about
We'll avoid any Night spoilers.
I was going to say, let's
I actually haven't even played Origin yet because I feel like I just barely finished City not that long ago. Like
I feel like
past
you can,
like 5
you
years.
can skip Origin.
Nah, it's great. I love it.
Is it?
Yeah.
I didn't think so.
I definitely would prefer it to... Now, not in this order, but for me going back, I prefer it to Asylum, actually. I won't contend the story's better, but I just like the gameplay
said I would totally agree with that. That's exactly my sentiment. I liked the game better, maybe not the story, but they learned a lot from Asylum and when they moved forward with the future games.
Yeah. So, all right. Let's discuss
having gone from City to Origins. They also forgot a lot from City.
That's also true.
Well, it's made by a different studio because basically Rocksteady needed more time to make Night.
I'm okay with that.
Of course, I don't know. One question is, it's like people talk about City being like so much better than Asylum, and I'm like, if I had to answer, I'm like, which one did I like more? I'm like, I liked them both, but I don't know. There was something nice about the more, I guess, linear experience of Asylum. I don't know.
Well, this is one of those, and this is definitely a topic for a different episode. But after playing a sequel, it's hard to go back to the original thing. At least for me,
particularly in certain cases, especially.
It depends on the sequel, I won't take us off topic too much, but I would argue to say Knights of the Old Republic 1 is vastly superior to Knights of the Old Republic 2, and there's a lot of reasons for that, but that definitely that thing doesn't hold to every series. Some series absolutely.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying like that. It's a topic for later. It'd be the examples of it. Anyway, so the intro to this game is insane. But I want to talk about...
This is very true.
The hype to this game. So for those of you who weren't part of the hype machine for this game, first of all, the hype was through the roof because this is one of the best trailers, just series of trailers they released. So first they did the teaser trailer, which you saw. Then about almost exactly a year later, they released the Hugo Strange trailer, where they kind of showcased that Hugo Strange was going to be the main antagonist of this game. And it made a lot of people like, okay, but what's going on with this? And it reveals that he knows that Bruce Wayne is Batman. It's like, okay, that's interesting. Then finally, they released the This Ain't No Place for a Hero trailer, which is so good. If it weren't for the fact it played licensed music, we would just watch it. But it plays Ain't No Place for a Hero by Caged Elephant, and it mixes gameplay with cinematics in a way that it lets you get the feel for what the game is actually going to be, and showcases very well what the like how this is different from Arkham Asylum. It showcases this is open world. You are flowing through the air now with your cape, and it got us so excited. And then after that, they started releasing a series of trailers called your villains will define you, or something like that. And it released trailers for Catwoman, Penguin, Mr. Freeze, Joker, and Riddler. Which I remember at the time, because I was getting very excited for it all, but I'm like, do you have the ability to fit all these people into a single game coherently. Not only did they do that, they also
hold my soda cola.
Yeah, they also have side plots for Harley, for Bane, Hush, Two-Face, Ra's al Ghul, the League of Assassins, Talia al Ghul. Oh, yeah, that guy right there. Freaking Azrael.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Azrael.
Oh, yeah.
This game is full of so much. It's incredible. And they were able to improve on the combat. They improved on the stealth. This was just one of those series of holy crap, they made everything better. And oh yeah, some of the best voice acting I've ever seen in a video game.
Well, I mean, when you get Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill to reprise their roles from the animated series, like, you're not going to go wrong there.
But then on top of it, you have Nolan. It's Nolan North as Penguin, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pulling a Cockney accent.
Maurice LaMarche as Mr. Freeze.
Is he the original Batman the Animated Series actor?
No, Maurice LaMarche is he's
Mario.
been in every. Is he Mario?
I'm pretty sure, isn't he?
I don't know. He's Egon Spangler in the real Ghostbusters. He's been like his credits go.
I don't
all
feel
over
like
the
Maurice.
place.
I mean, I could be wrong there, but I don't feel like Maurice LaMarche is.
Maybe
someone else.
I think you're right. Sorry,
But-
it was just
No, it's fine. What's Azula's name? She's Catwoman.
Grey Delisle.
Yeah, Grey Delisle.
Yeah, Grease. Yeah.
Which I remember when I first heard that she was going to be it, because I'd only seen her as Azula, so I'd only seen her playing a teenager.
You were concerned.
I'm like, is that really going to work? And then
she's
saw
done
her.
so much. Yeah.
Well, she's now the main animated Catwoman.
Charles Martinet is Mario. That's my bad. I remembered French last name, and I think my brain just went on autopilot.
I thought you were saying for one of the cartoons or something.
No, that's Lou Albano. What are you talking about? That's a whole other argument.
Yeah. Anyway, but this intro, first of all, is also just so good because they weave the fact that you're actually in gameplay really quickly, and it feels cinematic. It's very Uncharted with how they get this thing started.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. No, the intro is certainly far better than they did in Arkham Asylum, for sure.
I just love going back. They let you just knock him out.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is also the one that made Calendar Man terrifying for that Easter egg.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Well, Calendar Man was terrifying before. In the Longest Halloween, they pulled from the long Halloween, but the voice actor they got for him is so freaking good. But just this right here, because Arkham Asylum is very siloed, and mostly
it does have its benefits. Yeah.
Yes, it does. But this sequence right here, where they're letting you get a feel for moving about the city, just as Bruce Wayne, just so you can, one, get used to the controls of moving about without any complication. But this right here, where it drops the suit off, is so good.
Yes.
And it gets coming here and getting to see the entire city of Arkham City.
And then getting the achievement.
I don't know if you'll see it here. I don't think this person had achievements turned on. But
that's a shame.
When you only get it for the first time, so
right.
I'm Batman.
But it's just awesome because the achievement is I'm Batman.
And just this camera pan to the city. It's so good. Oh, it's just so good. Okay. This game has a lot of things I like in it, obviously, But for me, it's more just, as I've just indicated, how high the hype was.
And now the worst part.
I was fine with these things.
It was much better in this game than it was in the first one.
Agreed.
Yeah. I prefer this to the stupid Riddler challenges.
But even the Riddler challenges are so much better in this one too.
They're also everywhere and full of them in this one too, though.
I will give you that the Riddler challenges were the best in this one. I absolutely hated them in Arkham Knight. Like I 100% at Arkham Knight because I wanted to get the good ending. I hated every moment of it.
I didn't. I liked them until you had to get to the boss level with the car.
See, I've 100% at Arkham Knight multiple times just because I loved it so much.
Interesting. I didn't like Riddler's car sections. I liked everything leading up to them.
I loved them.
I am notoriously bad at racing games and such, so that was absolutely 100% the thing with me too.
I really liked the Riddler challenges in Arkham City. There were two minor things that I don't want to say complaints because they're not really complaints, but one was I found it a little bit harder. The ones where you're like supposed to go down and find the answer to his riddle or whatever, I found it harder to match which riddles belonged with which area just because there was a different interface in the menu and how it like converted from the menu to the map to the actual gameplay.
You have the benefit in Asylum of there being like one per room.
Right.
Yeah.
So
right.
It's like,
and so I kind of got, it was a minor gripe, but I thought that was a little bit more difficult. And then the other one was just that like, there are so freaking many trophies in there.
Yes.
That it's almost like there might be too many here.
I love this. Your ability to enter into fights from flight like that is so good in this game.
Oh yeah.
The combat is so much better in this game too. The addition
fantastic combat
of double and triple counters in particular is a game changing ability. I should also mention this I don't think I've ever cleaned the meat off a bone for a game like I did for this one back in Will
I remember that.
I got gold on every challenge map, on every stealth map with every character.
Wait, all the DLC oh my gosh. I haven't even done all those. It's just so much, dude.
I don't think you did all the DLC.
I did all the DLC. Because I got stuck on Robin. The only thing I didn't do is anything introduced with Harley's Revenge. Because we didn't have that.
Yeah, I did.
So it might.
No, we didn't have it when I was going through it all.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, so it might be worth to real quickly throw out here. What did you guys think of ultimately nothing happened of it, but the apparently discarded storyline that Harley was pregnant with the Joker's kid at the end of this game, and that was going to play into the next game? Because there was this whole section where, like, when you got to the end of the game, Harley was singing a lullaby, and apparently if you go into like her little base, either before or after the fight, you can find a pregnancy test, which was positive. So there was kind of like,
I'm not sure I noticed that.
Yeah, okay. This is one of those.
I dug it up looking at internet lore.
Yeah, there's a lot of storytelling with the environment in this game that is really good.
Yes, some of the best, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, just like as we saw just a minute ago when he's talking to Jack Ryder, it's like, oh, are you a fan? And no. Just the way Kevin Conroy delivers that line is fantastic.
But also he has that like gravatas voice, which is just like, no.
Yeah.
You could feel him you could feel him telling you no from the next room.
Oh yeah, especially when you have a subwoofer while you're playing. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
But the gliding feels so good. And when you get the grapnel boost later in the game, this guy has it unlocked right from the start.
The gliding's fun, but the gliding challenges are that last one was.
The last one was hard. That was
hard. Some of them were really tough.
Oh, that one made me so mad so many times. Though, I mean, yes, there is something to like once you finally do it, like, wow, you can really fly like crazy in this game, and that last challenge shows you what you can do. But it's also such a pain, and like, I don't know, just because you can doesn't mean you should.
I liked that the last one was ridiculous.
That one took me forever. To get. My goodness.
Same. It was not easy. The thing I also like is the number of bad guys they throw at you in these combat challenges. Cuz they don't have as many limitations as they used to have. But it just felt so good as the numbers went up. It got crazier and crazier. And look, there's a joke that Day 9 likes to make. And the reason it's a good joke is because everyone says it during Arkham Asylum was you literally feel like Batman.
Yep.
Yeah, and one of the things I find that's so impressive about that, though, is it's hard to incorporate that number of bad guys into one piece of media, right? Like, if you think about the original Superman movies, the first movie, they have one bad guy. The second movie, they're like, okay, well, we got to have more. Let's have 3. And then the next one, well, let's have like 7 or whatever. And it really sort of watered down the story for each of the bad guys in those situations. But in this game, I don't feel like that happened at all. Like, each of the bad guys that you fight, each of the villains has a developed story and feels like it fits naturally. And it doesn't, I guess it avoids feeling like things are just crammed in there so that they can say, hey, look, we referenced, so-and-so also.
Well, they did a good job.
Organic.
Yeah, they did a good job of tying different bad guys' storylines to one another. Like how the Penguin one ties in with Mr. Freeze. The Two-Face stuff ties in with Catwoman. The Joker stuff ties in with the Strange stuff and the Freeze stuff, which then, ties it to the Penguin stuff. And everything just sort of flows. And anything that's sort of the side stuff, like Bane or Hush or Deadshot, they let that be a little more contained.
Well, it's also just because they had so much. The scope for this game is enormous. It is a much, much, much longer game than Arkham Asylum, and that helped them be able to have that many villains in it.
Yeah, it's just so good.
To be fair, though, they did have the encyclopedia within the game.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the villain character stuff could be in there as well.
Though I must say, since we're here with Catwoman, not my favorite design for Catwoman, if I'm honest. I don't know.
What is your favorite design for Catwoman? Just out of curiosity, since we're
well, I guess I grew up with Batman the Animated Series, so that's the first one that comes to mind for me, and
I love
she looks completely different.
I love this design for Catwoman. I love the biker chick look. It's just fun. Anyway, the other thing that I love about how they do the combat in this is again, it's another great organic growth out of what they came up with for Arkham Asylum, was the addition of all the different types of soldiers, and as the game goes on, mixing and matching them. Because you got the ones with the shields that you have to attack aerially, the ones with the knife that you can't counter, the ones with the body armor that you have to, take big swings and beat down with.
Well, and in addition to that, they also, they had versions of them for each of the villains.
Yeah,
they're flavored for the various villains that you're fighting.
Well, and didn't they like have territory in the city, and you beating them up changed like the balance of power of which thugs were in which area, something like that?
It didn't really. It did with as the plot moved on, though.
Okay.
Right.
And so it made it feel like it did, which, it's just a sleight of hand, but it's an important sleight of hand. No, the detective mode for this is really good. This is one area I do think I liked Origins, how they built upon it. But
yeah, I agree with that.
No, but the other thing is just looking at how they tell the story, like having all these posters everywhere, having the people you can talk to, having Calendar Man randomly down in the basement for just creepy ambiance here.
Yeah. Well, that and the Easter eggs that you'd really have to go out of your way to see because, well, they're tied to holidays in real life. So, unless you want to make sure you play this game in every holiday in the States, or you'll never see it.
Well, and then
look it up on the internet. Yeah.
Then there's the one that Rocksteady had hinted that people had missed a single Easter egg and people couldn't figure out what it was, and they found out it was the date of Rocksteady's founding. He had a different he had something he'd say for that. And it's where he made the claim, I'll be there at your I was there at your beginning, I'll be there at your end. And if you look carefully at the very end of Arkham Knight, you can see him in a crowd. And that's like, they made good on that.
No
nice.
way. No, yeah, that's cool.
It's like it doesn't play into anything, it's just he is there. But no, the other thing is and this is where the open worldness of it lends itself so much better than the closedness. The amount of you just hearing chatter from the various thugs and the things they say, because a lot of times you're just flying over them, but then like one of them says something about like, yeah, Batman's not that or something like that, and I'm not actually Batman, but I just like, I'm gonna show him and just go down and just beat the crap out of those thugs. And it's like, just, hey, you shouldn't have talked smack, Don't start nothing, won't be nothing.
Yeah, I do feel like that added a lot of ambiance to the feel of the city.
Yeah. The other thing that was interesting about just the setup, because this is it pulls a lot from a storyline of Batman called No Man's Land. This is a cool little touch. Azrael always catches your batarangs if you throw at him.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know either. Was it one of those you watched a YouTube video? And again, this is, you just talk this little details that they throw in.
That's cool.
So good. Like that, this game is just so rich with little tiny details.
Yeah, it's true. So I didn't 100% the game, but I did finish the main story and 100%ed all the side quests, and I got all the Riddler challenges done and all that stuff. And I still feel like there's so much in there that I did not experience, because every little corner has a different poster, and every little, like you were talking about with Calendar Man and the different holidays, and there's just so many tiny things where they paid so much attention to the details that you could play this game 2, 3, 4 times and still find new things.
Yeah. Well, did you know that Killer Croc is in this game?
I did know he's in the game, but I did not see him.
You have to.
I think I'm getting my games mixed up, because I know that there's a level where like you're in a sewer and he's like chasing
that's
you.
an asylum.
But I want to say that's night.
That's
not
Asylum.
That's Asylum? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
that's
no,
Asylum.
so it's a spot in the game. You can only do it at a very specific spot, where you're in the sewers and you're going and doing stuff that's leading to it's leading to some stuff with the League of Assassins. And then you get your information and you head back. But there's a brief time when you head back where you can like double back in a way, and you can throw a batarang and it'll cause Killer Croc to bust through a wall, and he'll like come at you, but there's like bars in the way. And this is when you're dying of the Joker poison.
Yeah, I do remember that actually.
Oh,
and he has this whole thing talking, and he's like, "I smell death on you, Batman," and just basically saying like, "I'll eat you once you're dead," like sort of thing. But it's just another one. You didn't need to go to the effort,
but you did.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, we just saw the Zaz phone calls. What did you think of those?
It was fun.
Those were horrifying.
Yeah. Well, Zaz is one of the most horrifying Batman villains, just because he's a little closer he's a little closer to reality than his other villains.
This was my first encounter with Zaz ever.
Well, no, because he's in Asylum.
Well, no. I mean, like in the Batman lore.
Gotcha.
The Arkham games.
The Arkham games was my introduction to Zaz.
Same
yeah,
here.
but you just deck him really hard in the very beginning, so you don't learn much about him. Yeah.
So, but go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I like this is a great way to also introduce the stealth by just having a bunch of guns pointed at you, and so you have to move into the stealth section. That's the thing that the Batman or the Arkham series does so well, is it necessitates the stealth sections.
Well, and that's my favorite part is to play stealth. Which I feel like stealth is an incredibly important part to be Batman. If you're not doing stealth, you're not playing Batman.
Yeah. Well, and it's so hard to hit both. Night. It's so hard to hit both. To be both a stealth game and a combat game. Because if you're too good at combat, there's no need for stealth.
I mean, combat is I am vengeance. Stealth is I am the night.
Yes.
You put them together, I am Batman.
But it's just the fact they were able to find a way to act, because guns are scary in this. They don't. Yeah. They make it so that guns actually are scary, and it highlights the idea that one day some punk could just get lucky and kill Batman, because he is a mortal man.
Yeah. Speaking of, Batman also wastes people on the regular.
Oh yeah.
If you stop and think about this, like for like 30 seconds, and we just kind of glance over that. So I feel like there's like a broad sense of disbelief that you're supposed to attach to
of course.
In general.
Well, yeah, I mean,
it's a comic book.
Yeah, and like Superman hasn't killed anyone. Yeah, of course, it's just a comic book. You have to. It's not real physics.
Speaking of killing Batman, can we talk about those death scenes? It's just something completely new to add. And I loved it. Like, just depending on where or when you die, the villain comes out to taunt you.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's freaking amazing.
That just like filled me with drive to go back and beat the crap out of him.
I'm taking you down.
It's so weird. I normally would not have that strong of a reaction, but it was like, oh, this makes it personal. I was just, you're gonna die, fool.
Oh, yeah, like it's just so fury inducing. It's like, oh, you got jokes now too? Okay.
Well, and especially like, because some of there's one of, I think it's in this game where Riddler has, and it's like, I beat him. I mean, of course I beat him. Like, it just.
Oh, to answer Fun Place's question, we just found someone else's Let's Play while we're talking.
Yeah. But okay. the other thing I love is the sheer animation variety of all these takedowns. And
there are a bunch.
And I know I overhyped this for you, Baggins, but it's still, the Mr. Freeze fight is one of my favorite boss fights in all of gaming history.
Yeah, I think
100%.
I think you kind of ruined that fight for me, unfortunately.
I loved the Mr. Freeze fight. Like, when we said we were going to discuss this topic, and I'm talking to Lizzie, I'm like, okay, what do I want to talk about? I'm like, well, the main thing I want to talk about is the Mr. Freeze fight, and beyond that, I'm actually not sure, because that is the best part of this game, the Mr. Freeze fight.
I'm going to see if I can find that.
Oh, it's just fantastic in every way possible.
No, the problem is that you got it's not just that you overhyped it, it's that you were staring at me while I did it. And it was just like,
that's not unnerving at all.
Well, I mean, it's also one of those things, if someone has...
Here we are.
If you saw someone else fight Mr. Freeze first, or if someone told you how to fight him, it kind of takes the fun out of it. It's kind of like, watching someone else fight a 3D Zelda boss, and
right.
They have a hard time, but you're watching them, and then when you play it, you're like, I don't know why you had such a hard time. That was easy. It's like, come on, you saw me figure out the puzzles. Of course you know how to fight him. I had to figure it out on my own. And Mr. Freeze, I just love how you have your favorite ways to take down people, especially if you like me. The stealth is my favorite part in doing the silent takedowns, and the Mr. Freeze fight is all about silent takedowns. But the concept of, once you've done it to him once, he's learned that tactic, and you have to find a new way to go about it. I'm like, okay, that is a really cool way. It's the whole, there is no one tactic. You have to do all of the tactics, and then one that you probably don't do very often as well.
It's an anti-cheese fight.
Yeah, and I love it. Absolutely love it.
It's one of those things where when the game forces you to get good,
but without punishing you for using your already, your optimal strategy, your first order optimal strategy you've been using. It doesn't punish you for it. It's just it says, good job. Now do something different for the next phase. And you're like, I got it. Okay. So the game's not mad at me, but it still wants me to get good and try something else. That's really, really well done. Really clever, I think. Really clever way to really teach people to get better at the game without ticking them off at the same time.
Yeah. Well, then on top of it, it also lets you understand the sheer variety of tactics that are out there.
Oh yeah.
Because there were certain things that I was like, I didn't really understand the electricity takedowns where you shoot the turbines and it will, I know they gave it to me in the tutorial, but it just made me not, I didn't get it till I was forced to get it, type of thing. And it's another fun little toy. The other thing is I do love the,
and you have to get going through the wall takedown as well.
Yeah. Well, and I also just love the idea of, because you've been in this area before Freeze takes it over, and it changes once Freeze takes it over. They do a great job of reusing areas. But the other thing is their character designs are so interesting. Because Batman and Joker are, they're fairly normal takes on it. I'm trying to find it. Their take on Penguin is horrifying.
Yeah. Well, let's be honest. Penguin's either adorable or horrifying and nothing in between. In Batman the Animated Series, he was adorable. Danny DeVito was horrifying. And this is closer to the Danny DeVito version.
Well, the idea of replacing his monocle with a broken glass bottle that can't be removed because it would cut too many arteries or something is just horrifying. And then the fact he's putting people on display.
Yeah, his museum, oh my gosh. Penguin was one of my favorite parts of the game just because of the ambiance of the museum. And like you can go around and like listen to all of these different narrations and talking about, well, this is so-and-so and this is so-and-so. And that's another example of you didn't have to put all that detail in, but they went ahead and did, because there've got to be like, I don't know, 3 or 4 dozen different cases that you can go and push the button on and listen to.
Well, I think it's also a case of, and this doesn't just go for this media, this goes for all media, that you could tell that this was a labor of love by people who were fans of the subject matter. And
yes, 100%.
Yeah. And you know, I'm not naming any names, but every movie in the Snyderverse is not any of those. Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League was
every movie
horrible
in the
for
Snyderverse.
so many reasons.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. Zack Snyder hates superheroes. Why does he keep doing superhero movies? Yeah, exactly.
Because he made one critically acclaimed movie, Watchmen, and he's been making that movie again and again, chasing the success that he had ever since.
But it's clear that these developers, the Rocksteady developers, love Batman and the villains and everything about it, and that is part of what made it so good.
I am
there
curious
he is
here for a slight little sidetrack. I know Rocksteady was also the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, which was sort of kind of in the same continuity as
it's not the same Rocksteady.
That's not the same developers though.
Yeah, it's the same studio, very different people.
Okay, that was my question. It's like, was this the same team? Was it just like,
no,
here, just do this, and they just threw money at them, and they're like, okay, I guess they're throwing money at us.
No,
that was a very different team.
And that's fine. And that's fine. And like, honestly, that doesn't surprise me. Not that I ever wasted any money on Kill the Justice League, but it's just one of those things where it's just like, in the moment, I'm just, Rocksteady did do all of the Batman, and they did do this other one. I wonder if there's but no, there's not. So that's good to know.
I mean, I'm sure there's a few people that were in both, but
I mean, this game came out in 2011.
Versus 2024, that's a 13-year difference.
Yeah, so you're not going to have anywhere close to the same number of people. But no, this was my favorite of all the challenge maps for combat, because it's just a wide open space, and they just like in the final fight they throw like 95 people at you at the same time. It's awesome. With just this concept of just he thinks of himself as distinguished, but he's just a thug. And also, I just love that detail of him doing that grand display, and he smacks his own guy on accident.
Well, and I also am amused that his thugs wear penguin ski masks.
It's everyone's. Oh man, okay, this person's playing on the hardest difficulty. He's getting no counter alerts,
indicators,
or indicators. Yeah,
somebody's hardcore.
Yeah.
I mean, not me, but like,
yeah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, no.
That's probably why he has everything unlocked from the beginning. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Oh yeah, he definitely did. Yeah.
But no, I just love just this area, and this is also one where like as you play through with the different characters on the challenge maps, Nightwing is by far the most fun to play with, just because Dick's natural acrobatics. God, can't talk. Is
doing great.
It's doing Grayson. Anyway, it's just a ton of fun.
You're fired. Get out.
No. Anyway,
yes.
but no,
I liked it.
Thank you. See, I got someone
Good
backing
boy.
me up. You can stay. Anyway, no, the other thing that just randomly throwing in Solomon Grundy out of nowhere.
Oh yeah.
Just a very fun throw in, because it's like a boss fight with Penguin would be kind of lame. Because Penguin's not that type of threat.
He has the trick umbrellas.
Yeah, he's not that type of threat to Batman.
Well, you do have a
Penguin's. Penguin's threat is not direct combat. Yeah, agreed.
He's an organizational master.
Exactly.
The other thing is this guy. Oh, he's gonna. Is it ending on 100? Yeah, he did it perfectly. Man, this guy's really good. He even get the numbers correct.
I feel like we're just doing a watch along at this point.
Darn straight. No. Anyway, the other thing I really like just with the combat is because they introduced the multiple counters, it increased the variety of just your animations. Which it's such a small thing, but being able to have a wide variety of animations makes it so that you can things don't get too repetitive.
And it's not just that they have a lot of different animations. The animations will adapt to the environment, right? So if you do a particular takedown in one space, it'll might look a certain way, and then you do that exact same style of takedown, but now you're, close to a wall or, next to a set of stairs or whatever it is. The animation adapts to account for that. And I think that's just really cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's hard to actually do that, but I mean, that's the brilliance of their, I think they called it free flow combat is what they called it.
Yeah, they did.
Because that's the thing. It's not that complicated in its base form. You can play this game being a button masher. It's not impossible. But it's also one that if you start mastering, just things like that, where you're dropping the explosive gel on the ground and detonating it, and if you can free flow the tools into your combat, it can really change things. But if you are just a button masher, you can kind of get your way through the fights with your counters, as long as you can handle the blades.
My experience is when I started the game, I kind of started off as a button masher because I didn't really know what the heck I was doing. But by the end of the game, I was able to get some of those really cool combats and, use the Batarang and the Bat Claw and the explosives and the freeze bomb and combo them and chain them together in neat ways. But that skill set built up organically over the course of the game, which made me feel like I had a sense of accomplishment developing as a player.
Yeah, perfect explanation. Well, especially with the way they slowly add the tools to your arsenal as well.
Right.
And so by the time you've mastered things, it's all right, here's a new little toy to play with. Oh, you upgraded your batarangs, you can do that. Also just the horrifying, hi, we just have dead bodies in here. That's not disturbing at all.
I've heard it both ways.
No, it's this game it's gritty.
Oh, it really is.
Well, it's gritty, but interesting.
Yeah.
You know what it feels like? It's it's Paul Dini without the barrier of being
without the
show.
WB sensors.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, it's very stylized. What were the things with Paul Dini? It was that Art Deco style that was very striking.
Dark Deco is what they called it.
Exactly.
Well,
And,
the art that you're talking about, that would be more
That'd be more Bruce Timm.
Bruce Timm, yeah.
Oh,
Paul
yeah,
Dini was the writer.
As I've seen
Right,
with
but I mean-
with Bruce Timm, though, is without Paul Dini to back him up.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
But Paul
100%.
Dini also, like, again, like the animated series was for kids, but watching it again as an adult for like the 30th time, because I've got a Max subscription and it's on Max, and
dude, I'm
just,
rewatching
like,
it too.
I got it on my Plex server.
Superman, Justice League Unlimited, but we won't fault people for Justice League Unlimited.
Hey,
but yeah,
Nothing wrong with Justice League Unlimited. What are you talking about?
Justice League Unlimited
I
is
just feel like
great.
they lost
Seriously.
the plot. I will tell you that we got the Batman Beyond ending that we deserved out of it. So,
And the Cadmus arc, the best storyline they ever did.
fair enough. But I just thought, like, with all of the
And
characters
Aglets
there, it just...
I mean, come on. Aglets...
What is their sinister purpose?
Exactly. It's one of the most
the question
important...
is a close second for my favorite hero, just because, let's face it, if I were a superhero, I'd be the question.
Well, and he's voiced by Jeffrey Combs.
Oh, he is, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, man, I love the question in Unlimited. Oh, fantastic.
This is the area that has the shark. I forgot about Tiny.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Isn't there a fight with Penguin in here? Or am I thinking something
There's
else?
not a fight. There's a... he blows up the iceberg, and that's what leads you to...
That's what
Solomon.
it was.
Yeah.
Right.
This guy knows what he's doing. I think
Is this a speed run? Because this guy's just like, I'm dominating this right now.
Did Paul Dini write the stories for
Yes.
Arkham City and Arkham Asylum?
Yes, he did.
Yes.
And
He didn't do Night, right?
What about Origin and Night?
Not Origin, but he had notes for Origin and Night that they followed, but he didn't write for them.
And I'm guessing he had zero involvement of Suicide Squad.
He gets into the credits because they use some of his characters.
Yep.
Well,
which means he also gets some of the royalties because they use some of his characters.
Yeah, it's not a lot of royalties on.
Not a lot of royalties on that one.
That's a fair point.
Anyway,
but isn't Harley Quinn his?
Yeah, he invented Harley.
So he gets money anytime she is used.
Do you know the story behind that?
Yes, I do.
Which story?
Do you, Baggins? Okay, so I'll make this quick. So Paul Dini knew Arlene Sorkin, from his days of writing on Days of Our Lives, and in Days of Our Lives there was this, because it's a daytime soap, and there was this whacked out scene where Arlene Sorkin's character was dressed up like a Harley Quinn and did a little dance and song number, and he remembered that when he was writing for Batman, and so when he did that one-off character, he made the character like that, and he was like, "Hey Arlene, want to come do me a favor for a one shot?" And it just blew up.
Yeah. He also just has an obsession with characters like that. His wife is a magician, which explains his...
That I didn't know.
Yes, which explains why he kept trying to shove Zatanna into things.
Oh, is that why?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I really like Zatanna because of how he wrote Zatanna.
Yeah, and that's why. It's because he has a thing for magician girls.
I didn't know that. That's hilarious.
The American version of Magical Girls.
Yeah, magician girls.
Fair enough. Yeah, totally.
Anyway, one of the other things that just in this area in particular, where they just play with the museum theming, and it tells the story of what's going on. I think we're about to see it, or it might have been earlier, where the hyenas are stuffed. And you're like, those are Harley's hyenas. Oh, wow. They really sell the turf war.
Yeah, that's one thing I really appreciate is that
I'm not sure
the relationships between the various villains are also there. It's not just we all hate Batman, so we're friends. No, there are grudges and Like they're complex relationships.
Okay. Man, I can't believe my brain remembers. All right, this is the area where the hyenas are.
Oh man,
right there.
I was about to say, I'm trying to remember. Did I realize that they were? No, I guess he said explicitly that they were stuffed. I just forgotten about that. But yeah, ooh, yeah, those are Harleys, man.
Wasn't that one of the riddles?
I think so.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, I was gonna say I knew that Diesel Martini would know.
Yeah, this is why we need him.
Because just
His
like
memory
a
will be
week
better.
ago. It definitely was.
So, are you planning to play Arkham Knight?
Oh yeah. Oh,
Okay.
for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you'll get the
enjoyed
non-buggy
first three.
version, so that'll be great.
That's right, because you were a first day purchase on that one, weren't you?
Yeah, and my computer could handle it okay, but man, in some of the car sections, especially if it was raining, it would start to chug. And like they had to apologize and give refunds for how poorly optimized it was.
See, and I think that's one of the reasons that I don't have any of the negative connotations that a lot of people who got it on PC did, because I played on PS4.
Yeah, it was definitely optimized for PS4.
Mm-hmm. No, that was just, in my opinion, one of the most well-tuned games I've ever played.
Which one?
I loved Knight. I'm talking about plot. Well-tuned, when I say well-tuned, I mean like storyline and that kind of stuff. Not necessarily the mechanic, the technical, like the programming and stuff, but just it worked perfectly for me on the PS4.
Yeah, it was definitely only optimized for the PS4 and the Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing that's interesting with just like you're looking at one of the characters that they actually invented for the Asylum series, the Abravamachi twins. Yeah, the concept of their former Siamese twins. And one is working for Penguin, one's working for Joker, one fights with a giant hammer, one fights with a giant sickle. And
oh man,
it's one that I'm like, there's some interesting stuff you could do with that. Why not like the comic book should play with that. That'd be, I don't know, they feel like characters that could be developed more. But anyway,
there's the brothers.
Yep. For the Russian circus. He is so messed up when he's not in his suit.
They treated him just right in this, though. It was just such a good, like they took the best aspects of Victor Fries.
Yeah. Where he's just rage incarnate for a man who's so ice cold. And it's like he's the perfect example of a great Batman villain, because it's not that he's explicitly evil, he's explicitly single-minded and doesn't care what he has to do to get it.
Well, and once again, that's all credit to Paul Dini.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because Mr. Freeze was a gimmick villain before
Heart of Ice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Heart of Ice happened, and it's like, oh wow.
Well, and I love that there's definitely that element of rage there, but his rage doesn't control him. It's like he uses that rage as a tool. He's very smart and plans ahead. And you get a lot of these villains where it's like, oh, it's the rage, so that means they're a berserker type character, and he's much more complex and dynamic than that.
Well, I mean, it's interesting because he's supposed to be someone whose emotions have been frozen cold, but yet of all the villains, he's probably the one most emotional, just not expressive, but it's his drive. You know what I mean?
They're not frozen cold. They're frozen in place.
Yeah.
And so they're frozen as they were, because he was full of rage and despair when he became Mr. Freeze. and he's just stuck there.
Well, and I love the push and pull with him and Batman, because Batman gets him, because he's a deeply broken person, but at the same time,
through loss.
Yeah, he's just willing to go too far. And again, like, he doesn't care who gets in his, like, who he has to kill to get his revenge.
Well, and that gets explored a bit in Batman Beyond, and I like how that played out there too.
Oh man,
it was sad though. My goodness.
Oh yeah, it's tragic. But no, I just like the push and pull here, because like it makes sense why these two in this situation, they kind of have some similar goals, so they can work together a little bit. But as soon as he thinks he has a little bit on Batman, he's going to use it. Because again, like he says, we're not friends. I just realized the way he played, we never got to see Tiny. Dang it. This guy's too good at the game. Oh, is this where... No, this isn't where the T-Rex is.
Yeah, no, that's right when you first enter the museum.
Yeah. Which, boy, that... Like, there's a half moment of, why is there a dinosaur? And then you see how it moves, like, oh, okay. Like, I've tried to figure out, where's this game going? This game is out of control.
Wherever it wants to. You're not its boss.
You're going to fight dinosaurs and you're going to love it. I mean, okay, I guess.
Oh, and that's right. And they start introducing infrared cameras on the villains, so you have a harder time hiding from them.
Well, and then
makes you step up your game.
Well, and then they get the heartbeat monitors so that it alerts when someone goes down. I think this one also has the scramblers, doesn't it? So it forces you to take them down first so that you can get your detective vision back.
Yeah. They have I think they're called jammers, but yeah, those are annoying.
Yeah, the progressively harder mooks is really very well done.
Well, especially because when it's a great example of being able to make new gameplay without adding new elements, because once they've introduced, an element, they can completely change the gameplay by just adding different combos of characters that you didn't have before. And so, like, because once they added knives, it's like, okay, I can't counter them. And then they get the body armor guys in there. And then, like, you drop one of the guys with knives, and then a body armor guy picks up their knife. You're like, oh no, wait, I don't want that. And you have to start figuring out how to take people. Man, this guy is good.
Holy cow. Yeah, he's just flying through this.
Man, I love the stringing them up takedowns.
Yes.
From a perch takedown. Love it.
Well, and then cutting them down and doing another, like, they freak out, go over and they check the body, and then you drop down and take the next guy.
Jeez. Like, this guy is Batman. I don't play this good.
Well, how many times has he played this? Like, does he know this like off the back of his hand?
I don't know, but that's what I mean. This guy he's either Batman or the Rain Man, because either way, he's
like, dude, what's the name of the channel? The real Bruce Wayne?
Let's see. Name of the actual channel. Yeah, I'd have to go find it. Anyway. No, man. But I guess this is also when you start getting to the people who are, this guy's obviously not speed running it, because we haven't seen him no clip through a wall or anything. But like, he's a speed runner who plays it the way they intended.
It could be a no glitches speed run.
No glitches, yeah.
Yeah. But the other thing I like is that this is a version of Batman that's also, he knows how big the task is, and so he just says to the he's like, we have cops here. I'm gonna work with them. Go get Victor. You do, like, he'll delegate because this is a Batman who's used to working with people, and he still trusts people.
Well, that's another thing that really makes the progression cool is not only do you face new kinds of mooks, but you're also given new tools to deal with them. And so it's like they can give you these harder enemies and they're harder, but then you get these ways to deal with them. And so there's just this progression. And then once you start being able to deal with them, they're like, okay, here's a new one.
Yeah. And I like how, instead of like in Arkham Asylum, all the tools were just Batman's tools that as you progressed in there, he'd go get his secret stash that he'd stored there. Whereas here in Arkham City, a lot of the tools are things that you pick up from your enemy's arsenal, like all the Mr.
Get the
Freeze tools.
Yeah, you get the freeze grenades and the disruptor from him. Forgetting the other stuff. Anyway.
Well, or like in Origins where you get the electrocutioner's gloves.
Also known as the I win button.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Arkham Origins, I was just looking it up. I bought that just 5 years ago for like $6, the PS3 copy. But I haven't played it yet.
Still? It's worth playing.
Kids, man.
It's worth playing. It's just not as good as the others.
I have kids and my backlog's, several hundred games long. So,
Yeah.
No, to our episode.
That's
all
one
about
I thought you would have
backlogs.
gotten to. That's one I just thought you would have gotten to.
I did really enjoy it.
It's not a criticism. It's just an assumption I made that was wrong.
I'm glad that I played that one first, though. I really enjoyed it. But having played that, I think if I'd played City and then played Origins, I don't think I would have liked it as much.
You would have been in my situation. I'm glad you played it in that order.
It's just because for me the problem with going back is that by the time you get to oh wait, maybe we will see Tiny. Come on, Tiny. Come on, Tiny. There we go. Hi, Tiny. Then just I'm Batman. I'm gonna punch a freaking shark.
At least he didn't use shark repellent.
I'll be honest, when he popped out, I was hoping that's what would happen. Just make a reference to one of the goofiest moments ever in Batman history would have been so good.
One thing I will say, when I first played
with kryptonite in there, no.
When I first played Arkham Asylum, it took me so long to get used to the offset camera.
Oh, yes. Yes, I agree with that. That was a big thing.
I think Penguin would learn that he's sliding under it.
Okay, this is the fight that I was thinking of.
Yeah.
And it isn't really a fight per se. It's just...
Yeah.
It's more like a puzzle. You've got to just figure out how to... Well, and I think that's one of the things I like about this game is that the boss fights all feel like a puzzle. You have to solve. I mean, it's like the classic adventure games. I think of like Zelda, where you fight a new boss and you've got to learn how they work and how their weaknesses. It's the same thing here. You have to sort of take the unique mechanics and play with them in a way that helps you to figure out the solution for what am I trying to do in order to overcome this boss.
Yeah, well, and that's the best action games do that with their boss fights, where there is that sort of that punch out puzzle element to it.
I mean, that's kind of what the Souls-like games are all about. Or what's the Shadow of the Colossus, for example?
Oh yeah, the game where it says, "What if it's a game that's nothing but boss fights?"
But it's like it's a puzzle. How do I fight this enemy?
I also sometimes I forget how steampunk this game is, thanks to all the ties to Wonder City. God, just a horrifying version of Grundy.
Oh man.
I feel like, having said all of that, this feels like the more fun version of a Souls-like. I know it predates Souls-likes by quite a bit, but like the puzzle fighting.
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't.
No, Demon's Souls
I don't know
was older in this game.
Yeah, Demon's Souls was PS3.
So was this.
Was it?
Arkham Asylum, Demon's Souls was about the same time as Arkham Asylum.
It was like early PS3 though.
Yeah, it was definitely before City.
Yeah, I think I got Asylum and Demon's Souls at the same time.
Interesting.
And then returned Demon's Souls. It just was not my.
Well, and that's like Souls likes are a game for a niche audience, which it's a growing niche, but it is a niche audience.
Like, it's for a lot of people. I guess it's good for like watching people or something, but like it ain't for me.
He's so big. Anyway. Yeah, I am not beating him like this. Anyway, the other thing, we haven't really covered the plot, but the whole subplot of Joker putting his blood into Batman to force him to find a cure.
To get the cure, yeah.
It's such a good plot. Also, geez Louise, this is so horrifying. Where the exposed rib cage. Anyway.
Grundy is such an interesting character in general, especially in the hands of Paul Dini.
Yeah.
I mean, he's basically a zombie, so.
Yeah. Anyway.
He's a zombie, but like he's also like, if you know his background, he was a gangster in this thing that was zombified, and like throughout various versions as you've gone through and you see him and such, like he can be the mindless beast. There's times where he's gotten his intellect back and he's like been the gangster again, kind of like a Gray Hulk almost kind of deal there. But more
he is gray.
Yeah, he is. Who came first? Did Grundy come first, or did I
would bet Hulk
first. A lot of people would put a lot of money on Marvel, but like, it turns out in a lot of cases that DC was the first with some of those alike characters.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. DC, I feel like, is way older than Marvel.
They are. Although the weird one is
from like pre-World War II.
The weird one is Black Cat came before Catwoman.
Whoa! Grundy first appeared in 1944.
Yeah, I thought he was an old one.
I didn't realize he was that old.
But no, the weird one is that Black Cat predates Catwoman.
Really?
Yeah.
Would not have expected that.
Yeah, it surprises everyone.
Even and if anyone from Overwatch is watching, Black Widow predates Widowmaker. I want to put that out there before anyone. Just saying.
Are you sure about Black Cat coming first?
Fairly certain. At the very least, for popularity, came first.
That's probably true, because apparently she showed up in Batman 1 in 1940. She was just called the Cat at the time.
Yeah, well, Batman didn't originate from Batman, though. Batman was...
Right, but in 1940. Again, in 1940.
Which way predates Spider-Man.
Spider-Man was 62, I believe.
All I know is I need more pictures of Spider-Man. Anyway, it's just so like satisfying to beat the crap out of Cobblepot.
J. Jordan Jameson?
Darn straight. He's just so punchable. Because he's such a jerk to everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Especially in this game.
He's just got a chip on his shoulder the whole time.
Yeah, he is short man syndrome incarnate.
Oh yeah. Yeah, inferiority complex big time.
Oh, love it. Anyway, but no, the Joker stuff is so good. First of all, the whole plot line with him slowly dying, and then when he steals the cure and he's suddenly looking healthy, and you're just like, that seems quick. And just the subtle hidden detail. This is one of the reasons. So Baggins hinted at it. I played through this game at a blazing pace because my family had arranged for a trip for the entire family. We're all going to Hawaii. And unfortunately, it was only a couple days after this game came out, and I could not have this game spoiled. And so over the course, I beat this entire game, not 100%ed it, but beat the entire game over the course of, I think, 2 days. I went,
jeez.
No,
I went
you mainlined this game.
Yes, exactly. I played the game just nonstop. And so I mainlined it, and I was in a coma basically playing this game.
The few breaks that you took, you came up and you're like,
oh, my eyes were bloodshot.
You were jittery. Like,
yes.
It was.
And I knew it. I knew that I don't look good. I don't feel good, but also, holy crap, this game is so good and I have to beat it before I go.
No, there are only a few games I've seen you do that with.
Yeah. This is probably the one I've done this the hardest with.
Probably. The closest I would probably say is, unfortunately, Mass Effect 3.
Yes, it is quite unfortunate. But no, and so I played this so intensely for that, and then I just kept playing it afterwards as I was slowly going through all the challenges.
This is making me want to play Night again.
It's just making me want to play City again. But this is just one of those, like, everyone, because that's the thing. Asylum was universally praised, but it had two fatal flaws to it.
Boss fights. The
boss fights were way too repetitive because they were, for the most part, just riffing on the Bane boss fight over and over and over again. The second thing, the ending with Joker is kind of wacky.
Mm-hmm. That said, it led into City, and because of the weirdness of the ending of Asylum, City was incredible.
Yeah, it doesn't redeem the wackiness, but
it takes the wackiness and it's like, yeah, exactly, because they're dealing with the aftermath of exactly what happened at the end.
Yeah.
Well, and then there's the cleverness that they do. The first thing you see in the game hints at what the ending is. Because the first thing you see, the portrait of, I think it's Cain carrying Abel's corpse.
Yes, the Cain and Abel portrait.
Which hints at, that's the Batman Joker relationship. That they're brothers. They're two sides of the same coin. They're both.
Each of them had a bad day.
Yes.
And one of them became a bat, and one of them became
a
clown.
No,
one of them became Luke Skywalker.
I don't think that's. I think your cause and effect here are. I think you're missing some things.
Is just having a bad day all you need to do to become a Jedi?
Apparently. But no, the Joker storyline's so good, and so you don't know. Like, you're sitting here like, what? Like, that just seems so quick. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, they also shoved Mad Hatter in here out of nowhere.
Yeah. That was kind of like from left field, I felt like.
It was, but man, it was disturbing.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
This is by far the most disturbing version of Mad Hatter, which he's a disturbing character to begin with, but
absolutely.
Why am I pulling a blank on what he did in this game?
Because it kind of doesn't matter that much. Although it actually plotline wise, it does matter, because it turns out Hugo Strange was using his tech to.
That's right.
to control the Tiger Guards and manipulate the warden of Asylum, and
yeah, that's right.
Which is why they introduced him to explain some stuff. But man, like it felt like it came out of nowhere at the start. That's for sure. But anyway, more to the point. The whole thing with the Joker storyline, and you're just like, how is he looking so good? And when you finally fight him, there's a clever hint if you're paying attention, which I definitely was in detective vision during that fight, and I didn't put two and two together. In your fight with your physically fighting Joker, if you go into detective vision, Joker has no bones.
Mm-hmm.
Which is your yeah. Which I did, like, I was in detective vision and I didn't pick up on that, but the more eagle-eyed among us point that out, and it's like, oh my goodness, they're so good at.
They thought of everything.
It just blows you away. It's just one of those when you can nail those little details.
Yeah.
It's so glorious.
I have a question. So I feel like we've talked a lot about all of the amazing things that the game does. What, if any, are the major complaints that you would have about the game?
It's too short. I want 10 more hours of it.
But
that's.
It's been so long since I've, and this is the honest answer. It's been so long since I've played this game all the way through. I honestly don't remember any of the things that annoyed me about it. I'm sure that they were there.
The only thing that I had a complaint about, and this is more, it feels like a little bit executive meddling, is the Catwoman stuff just is not as good as the Batman stuff.
That's the top of my list right here.
That's true. Another one.
I mean,
it's not bad.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's not bad. It's just
what's the top of your list? I got
Catwoman. Her stuff
the
just is not as good as the Batman stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I feel like, so there was some cool stuff to it. I do like that when you're playing as Catwoman, you can go to the same areas that you went to as Batman, and you have to navigate them differently or solve things in a different way because you have a different skill set. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, it is
in
good.
general,
it's good. It's just not as good.
Wasn't it technically first day DLC?
Kind of, yeah.
You know, one thing.
I just say DLC, or was it first day patch?
No, I did like
DLC.
I did really like the moment though where you play as Catwoman and you have to save Batman.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
There's stuff
story-wise, it was really
there's
good.
stuff about the Catwoman stuff I like. It's just one of those. This isn't as good, especially the open world stuff.
Yeah.
The combat and stealth I was fine with. She just doesn't move as well as Batman because
exactly. Every time I was playing as Catwoman, I just felt like I was a less cool version of Batman. Right? Like she didn't have as many toys. Her, thief vision instead of the detective mode was not as good. She didn't move as fluidly. It was interesting to sort of have to approach it from a different angle, but
I feel like that was the way with all of the DLC stuff, which they did include also in Night, where you could play as Harley, the Red Hood, Nightwing, and there may have also been like either a Batgirl or a Catwoman.
That's my bigger complaint about it is these games taught WB the wrong lessons about DLC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And because this game is chock full of needless DLC. You can buy the skins. You can buy here's this challenge pack that it's not that different from Batman. Like I enjoy playing as Nightwing, but it's one of those. There's like, oh, these idiots will buy anything, and it's like, no, these idiots will buy anything for this game because it's this game.
Because we want you to make more of these games.
Well, that's the thing. I bought the Game of the Year edition that came with all the DLC. And, it's like, I like it. I'm like, oh, yeah, the DLC's on disc. That's great. But then when I saw what the DLC was and tried to play some, I'm like, okay, this is a lot of grindy, repetitive stuff. That's
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm
That
just
was
like,
the worst
I'm not
part.
willing to do it. I'm not willing to do it, even though I
Yeah.
didn't. Luckily, I didn't pay extra for it. But still,
I
also
did.
one of the other worst
I did.
things about it was the Game of the Year edition cover art.
It's already up.
It's terrible. It is horrible. I've seen like entire YouTube videos discussing how this is the worst cover art of all time. Because I mean, look at it. It's like 10 out of 10 and quotes from like Game Informer and Metacritic.
That's what I'm saying. It looks like a cover of Game Informer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. It exactly. It's like, dude, you want to make. I mean, I guess they thought that they didn't have to put in that much effort to make it look good because everyone knows the game's amazing.
I think it's not that. I think what it is like this is the Game of the Year edition, and we're gonna try and sell to anyone who hasn't played Arkham City the FOMO. Like, guys, look at how much everyone loves this thing. You need to buy it. Everyone loves it. Buy it. Everyone loves it. You need to buy it. That's what it's doing.
But the actual selling point of the game isn't everyone loves it. The actual selling point of the game is you get to be Batman.
Yeah, and it's like, so besides all the annoying 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5, blah, 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 plastered all over it, it's also just, hey, look, here's Batman who's grayscale in white for some reason.
So this is the only thing that's okay about it. This is the art style for all their promotional stuff. All the characters they threw up. They had these big splash images, and it was all grayscale with one color that splashes out. So in this, it's the red on his gloves. For Harley, it's the red on her outfit. For Joker, it's the green around his mouth because he's like coughing and stuff. So this is the only thing that's okay. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the giant tear out of red of bonus content, like, it's, oh gosh, it's horrible. It's just, well, the thing is usually like the box art is what's your first impression of a game.
It's more, and everything on this should be on the back.
Yes, 100%. And it just, I mean, I guess at this point, I feel like they've already made their first impression, and this is just to point out, like, you still haven't played it yet? What's wrong with you? Or, hey, you didn't want to buy the DLC? Well, you can just rebuy the game to get the DLC for, the same price, and get a whole new copy of the game and maybe turn in the old, whatever. But yeah, this, if I saw this, I would not. If I hadn't already played Arkham Asylum and I didn't already have friends that talked about how it's the best game ever, seeing this cover, I wouldn't want to buy the game because it's horrendous.
I'd want to buy it less.
It's not good. Okay, so we're already to 10 o'clock, so we got to kind of wrap this up. But one more thing I just want to talk about: the ending of this game is so shocking. But never in my wildest dreams would I think anyone has the guts to kill Joker.
When you came upstairs after playing this game, you looked haunted.
And I couldn't tell anyone.
Oh, I know.
And it's one of those, it's fair. It's fair. But yeah.
I actually can't remember any of the details of the ending other than that was the final result.
It's so basically the ending is Batman beats Clayface, gets the cure, and Joker stabs him to try and get the cure from behind it. And Joker is on death's doorstep. And it causes Batman to drop the cure, and it shatters on the ground, and Joker, no! And he's trying to basically lick it off the ground.
Right.
And they do the killing joke bit where Batman's like, you know what was funny? Even after all you've done, because he's shot Talia and all that other stuff. After all you've done, I still would have given it to you. And Joker starts laughing. You know what? That is pretty funny. And then just dies. And then he carries him out. And that's the end of the game. And And we can't talk about anything with Arkham Knight because Diesel Martini has not played it.
I'll be playing it soon.
I am very interested in hearing from Diesel Martini. Where do you think they go from here?
Yeah.
I have no clue. I mean, that ending, I was so flabbergasted. I was so taken by surprise when Joker dies and Batman carries him out. And it was such a cinematic climax to the story. It was a brilliant move. And it was gutsy, but they pulled it off well. But it left me thinking like, there's a whole nother game. Like, where is it going from here? I have no clue what's going to happen in the next game.
Just to let you know, everyone has that exact same thought when they play it.
Well, and the thing is, the next game was Origins.
Was a prequel, right?
Yeah, it was Origins.
Oh, yeah.
Which I'll say, after City, I just thought, like, because they said, like, oh, Joker will be in it, but Black Mask is the main villain. And I'm like, man, it's going to feel kind of like a letdown. And there's like, oh, but it won't be Hamill and Conroy. And I'm like, oh, can you really do a Batman game? And I'll say the biggest, like, pleasant surprise for me with Origins was their Joker.
Yeah, he did a good job.
Yeah. And you know what? Like, even though they told me Joker's in here, and even though they told me, no, Black Mask is the main villain, I'm just like, yeah, it's going to feel like a letdown. And then when they pull off their plot twist there, I'm just like, how did you just twist me again? How did I not see this coming? Of course Joker's going to take over the freaking game. It's Joker. The plot lines for these things are just so freaking good. And if you haven't played them, what are you doing with your life? This is seriously, like, you talk about games, like your best games all time. For me, this is in my top 5. I don't know what my exact order for my top 5 is, but this is one of those, it has to be this. It's in there. This game is so freaking good.
You know what's one of my favorite parts about this game? Is the fact that Crime Alley's in there.
Oh, yeah.
And you can pay your respects. Oh, I think I let that part linger longer than it should have, just because it was so impactful that, I don't know, the fact that I could choose to reenact Batman paying respects at Crime Alley was just wonderful.
And the fact that Hugo Strange leaves a freaking a tape recorder there.
What a jerk.
Yes.
Oh, they did a great job with Strange.
Yeah. Dude thought he was the main character. Anyway. All right. This is... I've been wanting to do this one for a while, so thanks for coming along with me. Let us get wrapped up, because I have to go to bed, because I have to go to work in the morning. Baggins, do you have anything you would like to promote?
I'll just do one last promotion for the Suikoden 1 and 2 remasters, because my gosh, they're great.
All right. Diesel Martini, do you have anything you would like to promote?
Well, lately I've been playing this really awesome series of games about Batman. No, I don't have anything else.
In retrospect, I don't know where I thought you were going to go with that. It's just kind of obvious. Coffee Zite, what about you?
Oh, I would like to promote my fantastic partner, Karina J's ongoing series on Tapas, Entangled Enemies. She just dropped a new chapter this Monday. And if you're listening right now live, go to Tapas. If you have any ink, give it to her. This is the last little bit, I think, of Ink's Giving, where ink is like their tipping system or something like that. You can go do like various things to get it for free, or you can pay for it and you can tip the artist. If you have ink, go give it to her. She'd appreciate it. It puts a little bit of cash in her pocket. Go check it out. Entangled Enemies on Tapas.
All right. Looney.
Yeah, I'll promote Lizzie Petrichor on Twitch. She does shiny hunting for Pokemon, and in fact, I went to check on her the other day while she was streaming, and happened to go in there, and she's hatching eggs, and she hatches an egg just while I'm there saying hi to her, and out pops out some shiny trash, a shiny Trubbish. So it's like, oh, hey, she got it right then and there.
I was going to ask, I'm like, was it literally trash or was it like a Rattata?
No, trash. Trubbish, the Trubbish and Garbodor, the Pokemon that when it was announced, I literally thought it was a fan-made joke and not actually
it's like,
from
oh, wow.
the Pokemon Company.
This feels like the Pokemon Company is literally throwing up the flag that says we've run out of ideas. All right. And then you can find me, twitch.tv/splicestream. You can find me on Kick as well, YouTube under the same name. Still working on Tales from the Infirmary. Going to be a while before anything comes out with that. But the recording sessions are going well.
Love that. Well, guys, I think we